Alright, this is part 2, and in this part of my video, I am going to talk about how my relationship has changed, my romantic relationship, how it has changed since I had gastric bypass surgery. Um, if you all have been watching my videos since the very beginning, you probably watched some of my first couple of episodes where I was kind of ranting and raving about my boyfriend and the things he would do and the things he would say and the irrational decisions that he was making regarding like moving right after I had surgery. I felt that he was completely and utterly not sympathetic to me at all. He was not understanding of my situation after surgery. I was pissed, I was irritated, I was fat, I was bitter, all of those things. Um, our relationship before I had surgery was not the greatest, but Josh and I have always been and still are a very good match for each other. And I think the only reason that we made it through the beginning stages, he and I were together for 3 years, I think it was, before I had gastric bypass. And so we'd already had a pretty good foundation at that point. It had been kind of a rocky 3 years, but I can honestly say now, looking back, that I think that the majority of our issues revolved around the fact that I was completely miserable, unhappy with myself, just bitter, angry, and I had all of this had just built up over the decade or more that I had been morbidly obese. And I was having a hard time understanding why he wanted to be with me and why he'd stayed with me for those 3 years, because I was mean. I mean, I wouldn't have stayed with me. I would have left a long time ago. I wouldn't have put up with the kind of crap that I pulled on a daily basis. And, in exchange, it of course made him unhappy and bitchy, and um, we just picked fights with each other constantly, and that's just kind of how it was. I mean, I still loved him, I still cared about him, and I wanted to be with him. Um, but there are times when I just feel like I didn't love myself, and I kind of push everybody away. I guess I don't know if that makes any sense, but right before my surgery, when I was at my highest weight and I was my most miserable, I was going through a period of just totally pushing everybody out of my life, pushing everybody away, because I don't know why. I don't know why, but that's what I was doing. I just didn't want any attention. I didn't want people around me, subconsciously, I think. I don't know that I was doing it on purpose, but now looking back, I know that's what I was doing. Okay, so I got gastric bypass. I told Josh before the surgery that I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how I'm going to change. I don't know if my personality is going to change. I don't know if my feelings were going to change. I don't know anything. I just know that my body was going to change and I was going to get smaller. I had fears of what's going to happen when I get skinny and I feel really good about myself and I look really good and I start getting attention from other people. Is that going to make him jealous? Am I going to like it? Am I going to like it too much? Am I going to be irritated by the fact that people are now giving me attention that didn't before, because I'm the same person inside? There's like all that kind of stuff going through my head, and I'm sure everybody thinks those questions. I mean, they're totally natural, totally normal. Um, the one thing I thought was really going to bother me, though, that I was really worried about, was what happened once I got smaller and Josh started giving me more attention and treating me differently, treating me better because I was smaller. And I knew it was going to happen. And it did. I think there's just no way around it. I mean, if your partner suddenly becomes more attractive to you physically, and for me, it was also a huge emotional change, because before, when I was overweight, I was so miserable that I was like angry and bitchy all the time, and suddenly I was happy with myself and I was gaining confidence, and the bitchiness like went away and the anger went away, and so I was a totally different person that way too. So of course your partner is going to start treating you differently when you are nicer. Um, so that's what happened, and I thought it was going to anger the crap out of me, but it didn't. I guess I just kind of appreciated it more, and I appreciated him more, and our relationship started to grow. Where I think before surgery, it was at a standstill and it was at a crossroads. And if things didn't change, if I didn't change my attitude and just my general feelings toward life and myself, that our relationship probably would have ended. I honestly think that me having the surgery and losing the weight saved our relationship, and it's brought it to the place that it is now. And I feel like we have a much deeper connection that I feel I am so grateful to have him, because looking back, oh, it's probably going to make me cry, but looking back, like I said, I would not have stayed with me through that. That was one of the most difficult times in my life, was um, when I started applying for The Biggest Loser, admitting that I was so overweight that I needed help, then, getting rejected from The Biggest Loser and having to explore the avenue of surgery. It was very, very difficult, and I was completely obsessed with it. All the time, Googling gastric bypass, Googling gastric sleeve, lap band, on YouTube, going to doctor's appointments. I mean, there was just so much. It was just, I ate, slept, and breathed gastric bypass surgery. That's all I wanted to know. That's all I wanted to talk about. And I know that was hard for him to listen to day in and day out, but he dealt with it. He stuck it out. He was there with me in Mexico when I got my surgery, and I've never been so happy to see him as I was when I came out of surgery and he was there. And I didn't think I wanted him there, which was the funny thing. I was still big. I was still embarrassed. I was still, not ashamed that I was having surgery, but I just sort of thought that I wanted to kind of do that in private, like have surgery, just get it done, get back home, and then start losing the weight and everything would be okay. Just do it by myself. But when he was there and I came out and I saw him, it was like something turned a corner for me, and I knew that he would always be there. And made me feel really good. Whew. Anyway, okay, so fast forwarding to today. Yes, I'm wearing a ring. We're engaged. Our relationship has improved so much. It's improved so dramatically, at least for me. I think just because I'm so much happier and I can appreciate him and appreciate life and everything now that I didn't necessarily before. So, yeah, so there y'all go. I mean, there's all kinds of other things I could talk about regarding relationships after gastric bypass, intimacy after gastric bypass. I mean, that's a whole nother can of worms that I don't really want to open right now. Maybe later I'll make another video about it. But, yeah. I don't know if I want to share all the gory details with everybody. Yeah, my family watches these videos too. Anyway, so I hope you guys have a great weekend. We're going to be gone for the weekend, and maybe I'll take some video. We're going to a lake house, and we're going to be hanging out with my little nephews and my sister and brother-in-law and my parents and my son and Josh. So it should be fun. And hopefully I'll be really active and I won't have time to eat and I'll lose a buttload of weight. It'll be nice, wouldn't it? Alright, so I'll see everybody later. Have a great weekend. And, oh yeah, make healthy choices. Bye.